switch on that joint right there on that side. Marley looking black as hell on the wall.
Marley's we outside, 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 we outside. We finna do this, we finna do this, we finna do this. Come on. Hey, oh, Marley's sleepy, baby.
Oh,
Hey,
woke up from a nap. Woke up from a nap. It's the same day. It's the same day.
No, it ain't though. No, it ain't though.
It's the same day. This bitch got on a new outfit.
Different day.
She went and changed after she told us that you were not doing it.
Lying like shit, she know damn well it's a different day.
It's the same day, y'all. It was the same day.
Listen,
This fool is the only one.
you want to change clothes. I did, you know I actually
No,
had
I wanted
something
to change clothes before I came out here. She was like, no,
That's not true.
nobody's on the phone. This bitch said nobody's gonna have a new set of clothes. Da, 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 da.
Welcome to the box, everyone.
What's good, y'all?
Welcome back once again. We're happy to be here. It may or may not be the same day as our last episode. You will probably never know.
It's the same day, y'all.
I'm gonna tell you it's the same day just so you don't think we're dirty. Like, we wash. We wash our clothes, we wash. I swear. Welcome back, y'all.
Yeah,
It's been so long since we've seen each other.
Like 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years. How we feeling? How we doing?
We're doing good today. Today's topic is talking about music.
Oh, I'm excited for this one,
Kind of
honestly.
musically inclined in a way. So
In many ways, all of
yeah,
us.
for sure.
It's an impressive group, y'all. I don't know if anybody knew. We got
Definitely.
some musicians in the building.
Musician. So should we go around each other's musical backgrounds? Like,
Absolutely, I
you
would
know,
love to
so
hear
we
that. Because I actually don't know y'all's full, like, inquiry into music, so I would love to hear that.
Okay.
Marley?
You want to start off professional?
Start.
Started doing music since I was a kid. I took piano lessons for like 8 years. I played the flute, the clarinet for probably maybe like 2 years a piece. I song wrote for several years. I was a rapper, singer. That's actually how we met in the studio in one of our old middle schools, right? Was it middle school, elementary, middle,
That
right?
was my high school.
Yeah. So we met there 16, 17 years ago.
Damn.
You know, just making music, chasing a dream. And, you know, I was writing music since, but I've kind of slowed down from that for the past few years. But that's kind of my musical background, you know.
For sure. That's awesome.
I was in choirs, you know.
Oh, the choir.
The choir, you always gotta be in a choir when you were a kid.
Oh, my goodness.
That's true.
You know, especially if you're black. If you're black and you ain't never been in a choir, you ain't really black.
The choir is kind of a rite of passage in some ways.
Big facts. It's like having ketchup, salt, and pepper in your house. It's just
You just kind
comes
of
with
know
it.
what it is.
Salt, pepper, ketchup, and sauce.
Big
Hey.
So
I
what
keep
you
hot
got?
sauce in my bag, swag.
Okay.
Let's go Beyonce.
Okay.
What about you, Alex?
I started playing music young, growing up in the church, playing for the Lord, learning piano, guitar, a little bit of drums. I gave that up pretty quick, singing a little bit as well. But that was kind of my main focus, was leading worship for a while. And then as I transitioned out of that, it was a lot more of just personal, you know, keeping it to myself. But it's still a very wonderful release I enjoy doing.
Mm.
Definitely lean more into the instrumentation side.
Okay, like, what do you do?
Piano mostly.
Piano. Ooh.
Yeah,
Piano.
they tickle them ivories, you know what I'm saying? Ooh.
That's another thing. In order to be a real lesbian, you have to know how to play the piano.
Listen, there's a lot of real lesbians I know that cannot play the piano, but I will say it definitely helps stretch things, if you know what I mean.
And big facts, you know?
Octaves,
See,
baby,
that's
octaves, y'all. Octaves, nice and smooth, y'all, nice and smooth.
You see that?
Okay.
Yeah, you know
So, I don't fucking play piano.
You know how to play the piano.
Marley out here legit though.
Yeah, well, let's talk, Professor.
Y'all play piano? I don't play no fucking piano.
Professor Ogilvy over here.
No. just been in music like y'all. I took like ballet and tap when I was younger. That's probably like my first experience in music, and then I was in a bunch of like choirs. I was performing at a young age all through my motherfucking life, and then I started, writing my own songs. Probably, I don't know. I was probably like 10, 11. And then throughout high school, was in kind of like, I guess like an after school studio club, whatever you want to call that. And was writing and recording there. That's where I met her. And then since there, I probably was in like open mics and like a lot of shit in the underground scene, performing everywhere in New York. Then I moved down to Miami, did the same thing for a while. Got with other like musicians, and I got songs like on social media, or what do you call that, streaming platforms. So if you look up Marley Jane on pretty much everything, you'll find something there.
Shout out Marley Jane, Spotify,
Isn't it
Apple
Marley
Music.
M. Jane?
No, it's Marley Jane.
Marley Jane.
On like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, all that shit.
Tap in.
Yep, you could tap in. You'll find like features I've done, and then I was my latest work. I was in 2, like I guess, activist projects. One for prison reform with the Dream Defenders of Miami, called The Free Tape. So look up The Free Tape. It's streaming everywhere. I'm featured on a couple songs there, singing and rapping. I'm also a rapper.
Bars.
And then LGBT project called Life's Interludes, where I have a music video on YouTube, and of course that's streaming everywhere as well. And then I'm also a vocals mentor, vocals and songwriting and rap with this nonprofit organization where we teach kids after school and keep them off the street.
Hell yeah.
Hot fire.
Damn, from all angles, that one.
Professor
Giving back to the
Ogilvy.
community, prison reform.
I didn't know about that.
That's legit, dog, for real. That's legit. That's really dope.
That's hot fire. So what made you guys get into music originally? Was it family or parents, or was it something you were just interested in as a kid?
Bare passion. I always loved music. It was never like nobody forced me to do that shit. I was exposed to it at a young age, growing up in Harlem. That's like a given. There's so much culture there, and a lot of programs in school offer that like during school hours, which is like,
Especially in New York.
which is unheard of these days. But
I was about to say, I haven't heard of a program like that in years.
yeah, which is why I work with that organization to kind of like bring that flavor that no longer really exists in school systems. But yeah, I always been into music.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the same. I grew up around it. I was forced into playing piano because I wanted to do other instruments, but my father's also a musician, so he was very insistent, like, you have to learn this. You can play whatever else you want, but you must learn this because this is going to be your foundation, which I've been super grateful for ever since. But, I grew up around all types of music. Unfortunately, it was all Jesus music, but
Hallelujah!
there is different genres, believe it or not. So, yeah, it was just that, and then that kind of became a part of my, like, social life because I was homeschooled, so, like, anything I would do with music, like, in the church was, like, how I made friends and, like, what most of my group was. So I was always surrounded with it.
It's funny how you bring up, the foundation is piano, because apparently, like, the same, like, piano is kind of like the gateway to all other instruments.
Especially if you want to learn to, like, read music and, like...
Exactly.
It just kind of gives you, like, a general, like, basis for, like, everything else. Like, it makes everything else so much easier. Yes, that's a big thing, too. And it's a lot, for me anyway, it's a lot easier to figure out, like, a piano as far as, like, if you need to, like, work out a song than, like, if you were to put, like, a guitar in my hands. I feel like it's easier to kind of figure out, like, how it's sat in front of you than it is with most other instruments. It's not quite as nuanced at the base level. So, very grateful for that. He was on top of that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, we gotta do a song.
Okay. Okay, who's gonna be on what?
You know I'm gonna hit them keys,
But I also
boy.
play the piano.
Nigga, you gonna rap or something?
Listen, I can take to the guitar, but I know where my strengths are.
Let her fucking have her day.
I thought you were gonna have two pianists.
They can
No.
do it.
Two pianists.
You're gonna rap
Okay.
or something.
All right.
Well, watch out. We're gonna be having the box mixtape.
That's it. Look out for that.
So, at what age do you think you started music? Like,
Damn.
I was like probably 6 or 7.
I think it was a little bit later for me. I think I was like maybe like 9 or 10 when I first started getting into it.
I was making up songs in the toilet like.
was that your eyes or was that your mouth?
I mean, I don't know, but that was like a beat in my head, and I'd be on the toilet like that.
He was probably dropping them loads, and then she was like,
She
"Oh,
was
that'd
like,
be fire. That'd be fire."
Oh man. I mean, I was like belting out the Disney movies, singing right along with them. That's
Okay.
from jump. That's like my
yeah, of
earliest
course.
memory.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, those classics. That's
Oh.
a rainbow.
In the future, I can see
That's a rainbow.
so seriously.
Yeah. That's me.
Yeah, no, I feel like the music back in the day, like when we were growing up, especially with the TV shows, it was very wholesome in a way. Like, you know, it had a lot of pop, a lot of flair, like a lot of like bop and stuff.
There was,
You know.
I mean, that's a whole subject where like I think you're always gonna feel that way about the music you grew up with, and you see it in every generation. That's like, now we had the best era,
Yeah,
no, we
for
had
sure.
the best era because we attach memories and experiences to this music, and for us, it's like, you know, your favorite TV show coming up, or like, you know, the song you heard in the middle school dance, or like whatever you had your first kiss
Yeah.
to. Like that's kind of what makes these songs like significant to us. Is
Yeah.
the memories attached. So
Gives
like.
that nostalgia.
Yeah, you always. I feel like every generation is gonna have that, no matter what.
Yeah, and so like for me with music, I have this like weird relationship with music. It's, you know, it's a major part of my childhood and teenage years, but as an adult, as I said, I've kind of detached from it in some way, shape, or form as far as creating music. You know, I think for me, like when I was younger, I aspired to be a musician. You know, I was even signed to like an underground record label for a while, and thought that was gonna do wonders. And maybe if I would have stuck with it, probably would have, because the producer that I was working with at the time is now big. So, you know, I guess I had this dream of wanting to do something, but then I also got kind of caught up in life and trying to get myself together now is where I kind of fell off with it, you know. And also my environment, you know, I live here in Naples, Florida, and although there's some musicians out here, it's not my type of music.
It's
You know?
definitely it depends on the vibe you're going for,
For sure.
but I feel the
I
same.
wouldn't go for that vibe.
I mean, I definitely feel what you're saying though. Like, especially around here, I have had many friends that have been in that community, but it's always been an uphill battle. You know, it's always a struggle to get noticed, a struggle to be legitimized. You know, from what I saw, like as a spectator, as they were trying to make it big, you know, like only like one of them ended up being like
Were you talking about
Dominic Fike.
Dominic Fike?
Yeah, so
Sure.
he was the only one that kind of like, and there have been a couple others that are getting big
Yeah,
too.
Nate,
but
Nate
like,
the Traveler.
Nate the Traveler's
Mhm,
amazing.
for
Shout
sure.
out Nate if you haven't
Definitely is a
heard.
cool dude.
Amazing man. And like his whole camp as well. But I always felt like it was like this community was kind of trying to stifle them because they're all very talented people.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
The energy was never really fostered.
But I also feel like even in like smaller towns, it's kind of easier to make a name for yourself.
It
you
can
know?
be for sure,
Because
yeah.
in smaller towns, obviously word travels fast. You probably don't have that. You don't have much people to like compete against, or you know, in some way, shape, or form, you could create your own sound better.
Yeah, true.
You know, versus being in a big city where you have so many people you're in competition with and has their own sound. Like coming from New York, you got people with different sounds all over the fucking place.
Of course, yeah.
You know, so yeah, I do feel like it's slightly easier to a certain degree.
Yeah.
How do you feel like that being in Miami?
I feel like is probably a little bit better there than here, but
You already know.
but I think Miami's issue is more so there isn't really a sense of community there. Like there's so many different like things going on. It's so diverse, but nobody really wants to work together as a unit. So like you're like if you're in this corner and this is your lane, then that's your lane, and if somebody's in a different lane, then y'all don't ever think about like networking and seeing what like y'all can do for each other, how you can benefit each other, which is something that I'm used to in New York for sure. It's like no matter what you do, like in some way, shape, or form, like somebody else can help you, like can help you. Period. You know what I mean? Somebody can do something for you. You guys can collab on a project, or like they can connect you with someone. Like it's just so much more open as opposed to like how Miami is very like
superficial.
Yeah, well, closed off. Like everybody's like in their own little corner, in their own little cut, and they good right there. Nobody ever wants to like venture out and like team up with somebody or like get to know somebody or rub elbows with someone because they're haters out there. A Miami native told me, he was like, "We're haters." I was like, "Wow."
Damn, he owned it from his chest.
Owned it from his chest. He
I
was
mean,
like,
I
people
wonder if
here.
he's talking about himself. That's crazy.
Well, he was like, people, and I mean, he's not wrong. Like, you ever go out? I've gone and performed at venues in Miami, like open mics or whatever. And sometimes I'll go out on the stage and I'll be like, "Yo, what's up, Miami? What's good? Yo, what's up? Can I get a shirt?" And they'd be like,
Chirp, baby.
for real, that should be trash. I mean, I can generally like engage a crowd and get them out of that zone, but for the most part, it's really difficult. It's a tough ass crowd out there.
Damn.
But there's so many like different people. Like you never know who you're in a room with, and like just like having that conversation and opening yourself up. You really just never know what opportunities wait for you. So get your shit together, Miami.
Miami, tighten up.
When did you start performing? When was the first time you got like in front of a crowd?
Probably like in elementary school or something.
In the
Was it a
choir.
choir, glee
Kindergarten
club?
or I don't know, something like that. Where either was like playing recorder.
Or lift up your
flute.
voice and sing some shit.
Singing.
That R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly song, you know, that was
Yep.
played in every school.
Yeah.
That was played in every school, especially for every graduation, but
Yeah.
I think that was kind of my first time too, you know, practicing for graduation and singing I Believe I Can Fly. Some shit.
You see, there's an attached memory a whole group of people can have.
You know?
Remember how they always played I Believe I Can Fly at the graduation?
They do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
They did at my school a few times.
Facts. R. Kelly was. We ain't gonna talk about R. Kelly.
Oh my God.
You know, that's-
He was canceled. So.
So, what about you, Alex? When was the first time? Have you performed in front of people?
I have performed in front of people. It was definitely something similar to that. I don't know if it was like in a choir or if I was like actively like, because I played like the piano to lead the worship at my church, so I would frequently do that and I would travel around to play with them. But I think it was probably around the same time. I would definitely think of elementary school, maybe even middle school, for like being in a choir and being on stage doing that. Because like when you're in church, they always doing something like that. They always want
It's only a matter of time.
They always want to put the kids up on stage.
Get on
and
the stage, Alex.
And in your little, red and black, very modest, very appropriate outfits, and have them sing, "Oh, the Lord has come to us, amen."
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
That is the child of God.
Oh Lord. Some random auntie in the back starts speaking in tongues. Everybody pause to hear her.
Oh, you talk about like la 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 la. Well, I hear that's church is the hookup spot. You feel me? So,
Oh my God.
Listen, I've heard some
Okay.
I've heard some things about sometimes in the baptismal tub that we don't talk about.
Every voice.
For real though.
But
yeah, that was definitely the first time for me. What about you? Same thing?
First time, like in school, singing the R. Kelly song, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, speaking of that, to take it back to the beginning, was there like a particular like song or album or artist that like made y'all like, yo, like I really want to do this, like this is what I want to be, like this is what I want to, this is it?
Janet Jackson.
Ooh,
For sure.
that's a good one.
She's been talking about her all her life.
Yeah, I probably first discovered Janet when I was like 6 years old. Our mom had like a lot of cassette tapes and stuff around the house. That was another thing, like my family had a lot of like music in the house, a lot of music playing all the time. Like from my sister playing like hood ghetto shit from the 90s to like my mom playing, my grandmother who was like my adopted mom, she would play like hardcore like old school James Brown, Shirley Caesar, like just a bunch of random stuff, and like, yeah. So I have Al Green, like all kinds of influences. But
I love that.
I came across Janet Jackson amongst like all the tapes that my mom had, and yeah, I fell in love from there. It was like I was obsessed with this woman.
She be outside.
Never was outside doing that, but
listen, man, that's a fire choice.
yeah, she honestly became like a mentor for me.
Stupid, bro.
She became like a mentor for me. So it was through her music that I learned how to like write songs. That I learned parts of a song. That I learned like how to have substance in the music, like the stuff that I wanted to write about when I grew up, like what I became focused on in my music, just even as a person, as a human being. So yeah, I would just say like Janet Jackson is somebody that I looked up to in so many different ways.
For me, there wasn't necessarily one artist that I really was stuck on. I mean, Mariah Carey was like the love of my fucking life.
You were obsessed with Mariah.
I was obsessed with Mariah.
We love some Mariah.
Oh yeah, I met her too actually, and I think it was my elementary school. She came through. This was actually probably right before the movie Glitter. So her forehead was big as fuck. You know what I'm saying? She was outside. You know what I'm saying? Her forehead would enter the room before she did.
You can't talk that shit about Mariah.
You cracking jokes here, no, but so she came through and I got an autograph from her too, like, and I have no idea what I did with the autograph.
You bugging.
What?
Mariah Carey's
They
autograph.
lost her autograph.
I know, right? Yeah, so.
That shit's probably worth mad
It's
money.
mad money right now, man.
Your mama got that hidden somewhere like that.
She probably been pulling that motherfucker.
She's like, listen, the bills have to get paid. Let's go.
Shit, yeah, big fact. She was like, let me hold on to this for you, baby. Keep it the same place.
For you, baby.
But yeah, I was super in love with Mariah Carey. But in my household growing up, my mom was big on music. My mom could sing. My brother could sing. He wrote music. My mom was, yeah, like she was a great singer, and she raised us on like some of her classics growing up. Patti LaBelle, you already know. I love Patti.
I know you know your Patti.
Love me some Patti.
Story time.
Oh.
So, one time, TALEN got drunk as fuck at my crib. We got home, bruh. She was so turned up. She literally, like, it was a whole tornado. She was like, like screaming, like legitimately screaming like that, like just doing a lot of crazy shit. And then we finally got her ass to calm down after she fell. Oh, it's an infamous video. If y'all follow me on Instagram, there's an infamous video in one of my highlights where like it's like a laughing emoji, and just please go see it if you haven't. She sneezes.
Bro, I thought you was talking about the music.
I'm gonna tell you, she sneezes and she falls into the ferret cage that was behind her, and like literally like fell on top of it, fell over, and was like, her ferret's name was Noodle. She was like Noodle, and then I guess after that she calmed the fuck down because she was lit, and then she went in the room and cuddled my big ass teddy bear, and like was humping it a little bit. When we found her, she was like grinding with it a little bit like that, and was playing Patti LaBelle in the back. And it was Patti LaBelle, and she was just there like this.
No, was not humping that fucking.
She was there like this. With the,
Everything else is true except for me.
she was
you know when you
the
adjust
shit
in your
out that
sleep.
hair.
You know when you adjust in your sleep. You know what I'm saying? You adjust.
I never had that type of adjustment.
She was adjusting like that on the bear.
You know the hips on
And Patti LaBelle was playing. It was
Patti
hilarious.
LaBelle, man, like classic.
So in your most vulnerable moment, you reach for Miss Patty.
I love me some Miss Patty, man. Patti LaBelle.
She
We
was
listened
definitely
to
vulnerable.
Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, Shaka Khan, you name it. You know, mostly people from that type of era. Maxwell. Yeah, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, TLC. You know, we were all into all of that. Yeah, you know, and I kind of studied music in a way where Michael Jackson was great with like entertaining and like upbeat music and diversity, and you know, Marvin Gaye just had like a smooth voice, and he just, you know, had like baby making music, and then Sade was like the goddess of love, you know.
Damn, okay.
You know,
Okay.
Maxwell right there, you know, so
Shit.
Don't count me in that challenge.
composition right there, you know, so, and then like even with Brandy, you know, harmony, you know, Brandy would have great with harmonizing notes and all of that, so, you know, that's the type of music I was raised on, which makes it kind of difficult for me because I'm still super old school when it comes to music. My playlist is garbage because I have so much old ass music on my fucking playlist that I just can't adapt that I can't truly adapt to today's music because I'm just so hooked onto the good message and meaning behind the music back in the day, you know?
I listened to a lot of like Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, she was good too. She had soul with her voice.
Yeah, I loved her. Oh my god, I listened to her a lot.
That was Christina.
Who else? I listened to Pink.
Pink was good too.
Yeah, I love me some Pink.
Yep.
I kind of fucked with Avril Lavigne when she first came out.
Yeah, Avril. But I mean, like, I'm thinking as a singer, like, I fucked with Avril's music on like an emo level.
For sure.
It's more lyric than a vocal thing.
Right,
sure.
exactly.
It was more lyrics and vocals. For sure.
But I would say like, let's see. I had it in my head who I was listening to at that time. Shit. Well, yeah, I was fucking with Mariah too.
Mariah Heavy.
Mariah Heavy. Oh, Beyonce, of course.
No, Queen
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child was the shit.
Yo.
Destiny's Child.
Rightfully good for love type.
I mean, I definitely felt like every month they had a new band member. They swapped out a new team member. Did you know Destiny's
like
Child?
4, then 3, then 2, then what's going
This is
on?
crazy. Now
I
one.
fucking love them hoes though. They definitely made that shit lit. Like,
Honestly though, what did really Michelle do?
Michelle
had some harmonies.
She had some really she had some parts. Like she had a special part.
You know, she ended up making like a Christian album.
Yeah, she was.
Oh yeah, she's very Christian.
She mad, yeah.
That was part of the reason why
That's
there was tension between that group. Like she
wanted to make music for the Lord.
Or like because she is the woman of the Lord, she would like not be okay with certain like concepts, you know, like the secular concepts that come with being in a secular music group.
It's an interesting decision, knowing the direction that they went in, that she still chose to stay around for as long and still performs with. They just did a reunion, no, not recently, but Beyonce's Homecoming. She brought her out.
Yeah, for sure.
Very interesting to think about.
Yeah, I don't think she ever put it down, but it was just like certain shit that she didn't do the same way.
Definitely.
Word. I feel that.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I mean, and the other joints from Destiny's Child, I don't even
Them
remember.
bitches don't even matter.
No,
I'm just
it
kidding.
Was it Latoya? Latoya was
Latoya
one.
Luckett was one.
Latoya.
She tried to do her own thing for a while.
She came out with a banger some odd years ago.
A
right?
banger.
What song was that?
Torn.
How does it go?
Torn in between the two.
Uh-huh.
I really wanna
Be with you.
Oh, that's her?
Yes.
Damn,
that might have been
That's
she was
from
in
the
the
90s, right?
That shit old.
That's
the only song.
A few years ago, son.
That's a fact.
A few years ago.
That's an
I mean,
old
she
ass
cool
one.
and all, but that's it.
Big fat.
That's all she had.
Who were you raised with? Who did you go with?
See, I had a little.
Kirk Franklin?
Yeah, listen, you know Kirk was in there. I was just about to say, like.
Down so low. Her for so low.
Let's go. Come on. Say that. Hallelujah. Come on. Say that. I know that.
I realize nothing else can satisfy me.
Listen, I was always so confused by that as a child. I'm like, but why is he the one? He was like the DJ Khaled of the Christian world.
Yo, for real.
Like, this man ain't even singing. It's the choir. Like, the choir is doing all the work.
Stomp, like, everything.
You wanna stop.
What was that other joint that he had too?
Oh, there were so many, bro.
Verses 13, 37.
Shout.
They shout out, "Here comes the more."
Yeah.
Like, when you drop that at any joint, that people are gonna be like, whoop, whoop.
Even Kirk on
Kirk used to
on Kanye's joint. He was like, you can never go too far where you can't come back again. That's why you gotta have faith.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I forgot he did. He
That
was
was a
on
good-
Cook Frank. I forgot he was on Kanye's track.
Yeah, he killed that. I was like, now what are you doing on Kanye's
That was
record?
on Life of Pablo, right?
Yeah, Life of Pablo. He was like, it grinds my gears that Kanye like has the audacity to do some of the shit that he does. Like,
Oh my lord.
you literally like he was creating a Christian song on a very like hip hop rap album. It had songs where he was like talking about hoes and shit like that, and like just like mad crazy with the secular vibes on one end of it, and then would drop songs talking about some you love Jesus and you Jesus people, which I can understand, you know, there's duality, but you don't like how you gonna have a half gospel half trap album.
Well, then he went full gospel after that with Jesus is King. Well, gospel.
Okay, Kanye West is no gospel man. He is not.
Kanye West needs to sit the fuck down. That's what Kanye West needs to do.
He needs to stay in his lane as a rapper, or if you're gonna switch it up, stick with that. But like, you're a walking contradiction.
I mean, but okay, so what are you trying to say, that artists cannot broaden their genres?
Yes, they can, but you got an album where on one or two of the songs you talking about like, oh, you a slut, like you're such a fucking hoe, I love it. And you switch to the next song, and it's face.
That was on the same album?
No, but there are songs like that on the album.
For sure.
If you listen to Life of Pablo, there's like it's not.
Yeah, he be wildin'.
He's wildin'. He crosses lines and doesn't have respect for certain things. And I mean, like, I'm not even like Christian like that, but I know that there are Christians who are like thoroughly insulted by this nigga. Cause like, who are you, bro? Like, you walk in, you're not like an ordained minister. He probably is now, but like,
I would
like,
be surprised.
the way he walks around is like, you know,
It is free. Well, it
It's free.
depends.
It's free to become a minister online. You can become a priest
Yes.
online. Free.
It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Like, you don't put in the time and effort to call yourself what you call yourself, and because you're Kanye West, like, people are just forced to accept it. I don't think that's fair. It's like you have no real consideration for these people and their sacred, you know, their sacred lifestyle. What it means to them to be Christian, and like what you like, how you do it is like a slap in the face.
I could definitely see how that would be. I think it's if I was to piggyback off that, it comes off as a little gimmicky.
Yeah, like
It comes off almost like he's using people's faith to sell his albums, which I'm not going to claim that that's his intention, but that's what it comes off as a lot to me. To come out of nowhere and like try to kind of, it almost seemed like a save your career move for me. Like, I'm going to jump into the church because if I am associated, the church rides for their people.
They sure
you
do.
can, you can, people make livings, fortunes, lifetimes off of the church because they ride on faith.
That's a fact.
And a lot of people take advantage of that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's what it came off to me, like, oh, you don't feel like your career is going in the way you want it, so you're going to try to kind of boost it a little bit coming off these people.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, almost every artist that do that. Beyonce recently just did that with that fucking album.
I'm sorry, I love that album. I don't give a fuck. I love that
hate
album.
that album, not even gonna
I
lie.
love that album.
It's a house album, bro. Of course you don't like it.
No, because I mean, Drake's album is house.
Yeah, but he did it terribly.
What? No! Whoa,
Yeah.
If you like Beyonce's album more than Drake's, you're tripping balls. Drake's is fire from start to finish. Bless.
I did not care for Drake. I
Human.
Bless you, my child.
Thank you.
Personally, I did not like Drake's album. I did enjoy the way Beyonce did hers better.
Yeah. No.
Ooh.
Beyonce. I mean, well, we
So we got a
That was all.
We got a versus. Beyonce's album versus Drake's album.
I mean, Drake's album was just hit. It's just banger after banger from start to finish.
See, I didn't really agree with that. I thought that was a very lackluster, loose leaf effort from Drake, and that he can do way better. It was half-assed for me. That's why I didn't appreciate it.
Why did you like Beyonce's album?
I did like Beyonce's album because she actually went through the effort to dig into the history of house and get actual real legends in the game producing on her album. And actually, like, if I can say anything about Beyonce, I know we've had this argument before, she does her homework when she wants to tackle something like this. Like, she actually goes to the source and goes to the history of it and tries to do it right. And I didn't feel like Drake did that. But that's just me.
I think.
God bless you.
Sorry. I think Drake's album was actually kind of similar in that way where he kind of like listened to certain types of house music. Like there's house music in Louisiana, house music in Jersey, and like he does that often where like he kind of like emulates.
Bless.
God bless you.
Sorry, thank you. He emulates those like popular music styles, but he flips it and makes it his own.
For sure.
So like if you listen to like the Drake album, you'll be like, oh, that sounds like Jersey house music. Like, oh, that sounds like some Louisiana shit. You know what I mean? Like, and you'd be like, oh, okay, I see where he did his thing with that. So, I mean, even if it's not the history, I could tell that he like put some sort of effort into it. Well, I say it's his best effort. I don't know, but he was experimenting with something new. A lot of people make the claims that like they don't like it, but at the same time they make the claim that he doesn't do anything different.
Exactly.
And his
I would never come from that angle. I was actually impressed that he tried the genre, because it's not, especially when you're rapping, it's not always the easiest genre to. If Drake wants to go hood, it's not the easiest to do with that genre, and I'm sure there were plenty of people that tried to. I've heard people call him soft for that album. But it was a very bold move, and I'm glad that he went a little left because it was getting a little monotonous and repetitive.
Yeah,
that's true.
There was one meme I saw. It was like Drake in like 2006, and dude was listening to like like the music video of Drake on like the TV screen. And he was like bumping in a hood, bumping in like a hoodie, and went on a black outfit, And then next thing I was like Drake in 2022, and he's voguing.
I saw that shit too. That shit was funny as fuck.
Yeah, everybody was like, after Drake's album.
Bro.
But I feel like that's what like with Beyonce's album. I feel like Beyonce's album was very gay. It catered a lot towards gay people, specifically the trans community. And honestly, to me personally, with Beyonce's music, I feel like it's not really her. I think it's her team. I feel like her team is immaculate. I feel like her team.
But you can say, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like her team be outside stealing niggas shit and then making her own shit.
Which is fine.
I feel like Beyonce be coat rodding and trend rodding every fucking time this bitch be going ghost. Watch Beyonce not drop another fucking album for another like 2 years. I guarantee you, something's gonna pop off in 2 years. It's gonna be another trend, and then who's gonna come out of fucking nowhere? Beyonce, bro, like guaranteed. Same thing with like, okay, obviously we
That's
already.
her gimmick though. She hits you where, boom, out of nowhere. Beyonce album. You're like, oh shit, Beyonce
and then she goes ghost for a century. Well, like similar to like, okay, obviously we know being pro-black has been like a thing since it's been a thing. You know what I'm saying? We have the Black Panthers. So if we want to take it back, obviously the movement that we're doing now that's pro-Afro, you know what I'm saying, is not new. You know what I'm saying? Like it's already been done. But as far as like obviously the newer generation goes, like there's been like this like spark and like being pro-black and like loving yourself and like Black Lives Matter and all that extra stuff. And like when that became more prominent in today's generation, who the fuck popped out of nowhere? Who was MIA for a hot fucking minute? Beyonce dropped a whole fucking African Lion King album. You know what I'm saying? Then she dropped something else too that was like, or am I missing out?
I think it was just the Lion King.
I think it was just the fucking Lion King joint. And then like she had that whole album with like her and Jay-Z talking about their marriage and shit because he was cheating and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hold up, they don't love you like I love you.
That album, that shit was fire.
They don't love you like I love you. That album was
Back
banger,
up,
bro.
they don't love you like I love you.
Slow down. Like I love you. Can't you see there's no other man above you? What a wicked way to treat the girl that loves you.
Hold up, they don't love you like I love you.
Slow down.
This is 3LW right here. 3LW of Queen Latifah.
This bitch said, she said, how about the bed? There was swagger. I looked in the mirror and said, what's up?
Okay.
What's up?
You know, she be fucking trend rock.
You know that is definitely fucking. She quoted Soulja Boy and made it Beyonce.
100%.
I mean, but that's if you think about it, like even in that African the Lion King album,
The African album.
because it just is what it is.
I mean, the Lion King album did also piggyback off of her playing Nala in the Lion King movie.
Right.
For sure. But the album probably came out first.
Did it come out before?
I think it was. I mean, either way, it was. In
It was-
retrospect
yeah, it
to
was
the movie,
for sure.
yeah. It wasn't like she just was
Regardless.
like, let me come up with a bunch of African.
Regardless, and I feel like it was that album or some other song she released where she like literally she stole so many ideas from underground artists that it was like damn near duplicated. Like literally the shots were damn near the same, the clothes were damn near the same, the color schemes, everything was damn near the same. And it's just like, come on, Beyonce, like you know what I'm saying? Like
You think she'd be appropriating?
OD.
She's not. Yo, you about to get us canceled.
I don't care what nobody say, bro. Like,
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
good. I fuck with the Beehive.
I love
Don't
the
come
Bee-
for me.
Listen, I will say, like, unfortunately, to have the longevity in her career that Beyonce has, you gotta do that. Unfortunately, she would not be as relevant as she is today if she was still making the same music she was making.
well, she
back
don't
then.
have to make the same music.
But she's
Look at
also
like
she's coming off. You know, she's feeding off the world around her.
Yeah, she's flowing with
And
the
again,
times.
it's definitely can be her team. I'm not doubting that at all. I'm sure she's got people around her that are ensuring her success. I'm not saying it's all her,
For
but
sure.
you know, I think there is something to be said, like to make an album relevant to the times. You know what I mean? You could argue that Drake does the same thing, really.
He does. He definitely
Drake has sounded the
does.
same since
Well,
he came the fuck out. It wasn't
Actually,
until
what
his
Drake
album.
does, he'll go to another country and he'll write his album. He'll write his album
The
there.
Dominican Republic.
Well, I don't know. I feel like he'll go to Jamaica and he'll write. You can tell this nigga was in Jamaica the whole time he wrote the album because it'll have all these fucking influence. Baby, and you know, it's like
He'd be saying ting every other word.
yeah, ting. That's how you know he was in London. He was London. He was
That's
in
a big
London.
bad ting.
Yeah, he started fucking with all that Afro beat and writing about Kingdom and shit like that. There's one song where there's one song where he literally says some shit in Jewish. He says some shit or whatever language
Hebrew?
you speak, Hebrew. Yeah, he says some shit in Hebrew. He says some shit with a patois accent. He says some shit with a London accent. It's like, Drake, who are you?
You're international, baby.
You are Canadian.
But you know what? I feel like, okay, yeah. I first of all, I'm not really too big on Drake, but I think like he has some bangers.
I love
But
that nigga, but
I feel like
he be wild.
I'm-
He's an
You right on that.
appropriator.
You right on that. But like, he's not as bad as like Chris Brown and Justin Bieber.
Bro, he's been Drake's first albums when he was younger. Like he was staying in Houston. This nigga was using fucking what's that shit? Chopped and screwed style. And
Oh, he did do a little.
yeah, and he was like, yeah, I'm in Houston. Nigga, you are from Canada.
You are from
You know what I'm
Toronto.
saying? He was in Louisiana at some point because you know his mentor Lil Wayne is from Louisiana. This nigga Louisiana shit. Nigga, what? Shut up.
He's trying to be international, bro.
He needs to be singing the grassy shit.
Well, he did. Well, we had Views from
Drake
the
used to be in
Six.
the wheelchair.
What, is that what it was called? That
Views from the Six.
Views from the Six. That was the one where he was like Toronto all day.
Bruh.
Let me remind y'all where I'm from in case you were confused.
All that shit had influence from all them countries he been in.
You already know.
Well, I mean, as an artist in general, music, it doesn't even matter what type of art it is. You know, you grab inspiration from your environment.
So
you know
Beyonce
what I'm
did the
saying?
same thing.
We can agree that she definitely. Listen, we will say that Beyonce definitely do capitalize on the environment around her.
But so does everybody else.
But you gotta, as podcast hosts, are we not making art off of the relevancy of what's around us and what's trending?
I mean, we haven't really talked much about what's trending. We don't.
That's
really
just fair, but if you think about in general terms, like you're talking about, influence comes from everywhere. You could definitely say she's copping. I won't deny that. But you could probably say that about every single artist in the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they said in the Bible, there's nothing new, no, not one.
But I mean, like, okay, let's say for like example, like Rihanna. I don't feel like
Rihanna was original.
She's always been original, at least in my opinion. Like even some.
Or she's been true to
herself. Yeah.
Right.
And with that being said, like even with her being genuinely herself, I feel like even all the several albums that she's released, all of them sound like who she is, but also sound different. True. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and Rihanna has maintained, popularity for the dawn of time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I agree.
So it's like, if she can do it, why the fuck does Beyonce got a bite on every fucking thing?
I feel that. I mean, I do think you could argue that Rihanna has done the same thing in certain aspects, but again, you also can say that Rihanna was leading those trends at the time too.
She's always been a trend leader. She's always created trends.
Of course. And
Beyonce, I feel like just be like,
If Beyonce sneeze, niggas gonna be like, that's it. Like, they gonna be like, that's it.
But you know what?
Everybody gonna be sneezing on the track.
But I guarantee you, that sneeze sound like somebody else. It sound like somebody else's sneeze.
I know.
Should I sneeze on the beat and the beat got sick up? Beyonce on something like liquor. Like liquor. Like liquor.
I bet you she got that sneeze from somebody else.
Yo, shut the fuck
that
up.
That sneeze was not originally
so
hers.
you don't. Okay, it's fair. We can say it. We can say
agree
it.
Disagree. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, we can definitely say it.
Yeah, I mean, we already know what the fuck it is. We already know what the fuck it is.
Beyonce is. That's punching up. It's fine. Yeah. She gonna be just fine if we talk shit.
Fact.
She will.
Yeah, as with all these people.
Now, okay.
Beyonce, give me $1.
You mentioned my name.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was about to say though.
We're gonna start playing. We're gonna start playing a drinking game. You're gonna go ahead and take a shot every time Marley says I forgot what I was about to say.
Big facts.
Damn.
I gotta be like 5 shots deep now.
I didn't say.
You only said it twice.
I'm saying it today. Damn, I forgot though.
Oh no.
Second shot.
Shit. Well, this is actually, we'll kind of segue a little bit nice into the question I have. Is there any artist that you found that has survived your entire lifetime, changes in music taste, changes in life's, is there one artist that you can say you've loved your entire life no matter what phase you've been in?
I don't know, I always fucked with Drake, but I guess his later albums did kind of lose my interest. And I think that's why he made the switch, because his fans were kind of just getting bored with him. But I loved him. I loved Nicki Minaj. I loved Janet up to a certain point.
Yeah, Janet fell the fuck off hard.
No, she didn't fall off. So the story behind Janet is after the Super Bowl thing, she was low key blacklisted. So because nobody was really fucking with her for not apologizing 100 billion thousand times, and the scrutiny that she faced as far as that was concerned, it really affected her career more than people like to give credit to. Niggas in MTV stopped playing her shit altogether. So if you're an impressionable teenager, for example, and Janet was popping until her breast was exposed, and then all of a sudden MTV's not playing her music anymore, you're thinking oh yeah, she fell off, it's because her album is whack. No, it's because it's not getting any traction, because they're not supporting her career anymore.
I was with the titty.
We were all with the titty, but I'm saying
that is hilarious. When you put it in today's context and being
it was a fucking
they canceled her for that,
for a titty, bro. And
what
she really faced a lot of scrutiny behind that. A lot of people don't realize what goes on behind closed doors. there were a lot of endorsements that she lost and a lot of support that she lost from like radio stations and especially MTV, where like that could make or break somebody's album. Like
at that time, especially.
Yeah, especially like when album sales were like a thing, when people were really like pushing to get these CDs bought and shit like that. So like she was working with Jermaine Dupri, who was popping back then at the time.
Absolutely.
And I thought her album was really good.
Which
but
one?
Demeter Joe, but the last one, but nobody really was. It wasn't really given a true shot. Like it wasn't given a chance, and so people just automatically wrote her off like it was trash because she didn't have that support. Like people don't put two and two together.
I mean, her classic album was Velvet Rope. Classic.
Oh
album.
yeah, that shit was.
And I think what was after that? Dilemma?
All For You.
Oh, All For You was fire too. But there was another one, Dilemma, Disturbia. No, not that.
Demeter Joe.
There was something else. Great cover.
20 Years Old.
Something
Sign
like
of the
that.
Decade. There's so many.
Anyway, yeah, All For You was popping, and Red Velvet, Velvet Rope was fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hot fire. I mean, for me, there wasn't really an artist that, like, I guess stuck with me the whole time. I mean, I was a huge Eminem fan. Huge Eminem fan.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Up until he got clean.
Right. Soon as he stopped being bipolar and shit, and got off the sauce.
His music did get worse. His
Yeah,
music
bro.
get worse, bro.
He wasn't as crazy because he wasn't popping acid and like ecstasy pills. And
Which, I mean, good for him for cleaning up
Of
himself.
course,
You know, he
way more
needs that.
important than any
yeah, he had to
music
do
will
that
ever
for
be.
his family, of course.
But his music
It
is
is
just
unfortunate.
legendary for a very long time. No
Dude,
matter who the fuck he was roasting, you know what I'm saying? I remember when he voted. First of all, y'all already know I love Mariah Carey. When he roasted Mariah Carey, I was siding with this nigga. That's how fire the rap was. I was like, damn, I'm sorry, Mariah. Like,
He definitely
That was so
he
shady.
sampled her like in the studio, like Slim Shady. Crazy. She should have been talking shit.
Listen, didn't nobody win a beef with Eminem?
Yeah, no.
He'd put them in the grave, dug them up again, and then buried them once
Big
more.
facts. Yeah, his raps were fucking crazy. He was a lyrical genius. Like he could rhyme words that people wouldn't normally know how to rhyme, like orange. You know what I'm saying?
Door
like,
hinge.
Yeah,
I remember
like
that. I remember
yeah,
that.
like you know what
I
I'm saying?
remember that hearing him out his mouth, and I'm like, yo, you see words different,
crazy,
bro.
for
And he
sure.
would like read the dictionary like regularly. Like is the way his mind was. I remember reading the biography about him because I was very much into him when I was young too. And he's just had an insane way of looking at shit,
Yeah.
and like the way of breaking it down, and like you said, the way he would like look at word structure and how things would work, depending on how he would enunciate them, they could rhyme. Like,
Yeah,
he was.
I had a huge crush on Eminem. Huge crush.
Yeah, Eminem was fucking dope.
I thought he was hot. I don't even like white people like that.
He just had this.
Like not in a gay way. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not really attracted to like vanilla so much.
But he had this he's like the token white dude.
Something
you know
about
what
him,
I'm
I was
saying?
like, you're a hot white boy.
Yeah, right.
that nasally voice got me going.
Play that funky music, white boy.
That, you know, a classic person that's always been, I feel like, on top from start to finish, but maybe not necessarily anymore in like the music field, but just like overall career. Snoop Dogg, bro.
Yo,
like,
Snoop.
I feel like Snoop has just been like an extraordinary musician back in the day, and then now he's just evolved to a whole nother level.
He's
of
a mogul.
artistry.
Like
Yeah.
fucking 50 Cent.
50
True.
Cent.
This
Is,
nigga
That's
50
another
Cent
one,
is
too.
lit.
for sure, yeah.
Like he's lit. He literally was lit from Ghost Shawty. Like
Big
had
facts.
all them hits, right? Had
Bangers
hits,
after bangers.
bangers after bangers. Was fucking with Slim Shady, so you know he had that support, whatever.
Facts.
And then like when he decided he didn't want to do music anymore, he started writing, like,
Yeah.
and like making dope ass shit. Like Power is what?
Yeah.
6 seasons deep, and now there's like 3 or 4 spin-offs off the shit.
I totally forgot that Power was 50 Cent's thing.
That's 50 Cent.
Yeah,
That's,
and now
that's
he
a
has-
phenomenal accomplishment, man.
Yeah.
And then that shit he did with Vitamin Water.
Oh,
y'all
yeah,
remember that? Yeah, he was
he's
on
a
that in the
businessman.
beginning.
He's a businessman for sure.
And he had a deal for shoes, I believe, too. I don't remember if it was Reebok or not, but he had a deal for shoes as well. He had several different things.
I feel like Jay-Z kind of paved the way for that as well. Like Jay-Z and Diddy, like
Those were like the original rapper.
Yeah, they
Fucking
they
Diddy, bro.
became like moguls and like their own right as far as like artists, and then even 50 Cent did the same thing after he like
he had G-Unit, he had all those artists.
He had those artists under him and shit like that.
He
So.
Diddy bought their ass because Diddy be picking up artists and then dropping their ass. Diddy take artists from the slums, make money off of them, and then drop their ass after that first album.
That's why he had
That's
that.
what you call a Diddy bop.
That's why he didn't make in the band, bro. That's why you don't hear about Danny Kane.
That's
no
what he
more.
did with Diddy Kane. That's what he did with Making the Band. That's what he did with Mace. You know what I'm saying? Like,
There is one chick that's pretty lit from Danny Kane, Dawn. She still has a pretty like decent career.
Oh,
It's
really?
not like, oh my god.
Is she really?
Yeah, she
know
just
that.
did a song with this chick Kimbra, and it's a really good
what
song.
up, Kimbra? Boom, 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 ba.
Yeah, well,
White chick?
yeah,
I wanna settle down.
yeah.
That's fire. She's fire. She's a good musician,
Kimbra, you didn't have to cut me off.
Yeah, that's same joint,
Yeah,
same bit, yeah. Facts.
Yeah, that's really. They have. I'll play it for you later.
Yeah, please.
It's pretty fucking cute.
Man, I fucked with Danny Kane when that
It-
shit was out
Danny
too.
Kane.
And
She'll
Dawn,
She'll stop it. She'll stop it. She'll stop it.
It's when you see it pop it. It's when you face drop it. It's when you see it love it. They call it show stop it.
Yo, that was a vibe, dog. I'm sorry.
It's a show stop it.
And the vocals, bro?
Yeah,
Yo,
no, that's
he
what I was gonna
He
say.
made them earn those vocals.
That's
No,
that's the thing about Diddy.
when it was the two chicks that he kept from Danny Kane, it was
Aubrey.
Dawn and another one.
Dawn, Aubrey.
No, it was two that he kept for him,
Shannon.
and they had their own group. It was him.
Oh,
and,
they did have it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dawn
they did have a group.
it was the other black joints.
Yeah.
Dawn and damn, nobody cared about her.
You know just what to do.
Motherfucker.
I
That
love
album, no lie, that
you.
album, Dirty Money.
Yeah, Dirty Money.
Dirty Money.
Them niggas is cool.
Hot fire. Swizzy was on that joint ripping
They
the
was
fucking
cool,
beats up.
yeah. Like it's Swiss. Oh, let's like fucking Swiss Beats, Timbaland,
Oh.
fucking
Dr. Dre.
those
Oh,
producers,
man.
all them niggas.
Ridiculous. You know, I think a great trio. Justin Timberlake, Timbaland, and Nelly Furtado.
Promiscuous
Oh.
girl.
When them three got together,
Yeah.
bangers.
Well,
Yeah.
Timbaland had ever been
Bangers.
one of the bangers.
Yeah,
so
Timbaland is a
wrong.
banger. He's a banger.
Timbaland is a banger.
You got him on your shit.
He's a hit.
It's gonna
Banger.
be a fucking banger.
Banger. Nelly Furtado, I feel like, it's funny because like the other day I was at the office and we were talking about that at the office. I'm like, yeah, that trio, blah blah blah, Nelly Furtado. Matter of fact, put on some Nelly Furtado, thinking they gonna put the Justin Timberlake and Timberlake combo.
You know what they put?
Nah, they put the.
I like the bird.
No, they didn't play that. They played something else because y'all bang with that song. It was a different
Is that fucking
Nelly
Nelly
Furtado
Furtado?
song. Yeah.
No,
What?
that's not her, is it?
Yeah.
Like
No.
the bird?
Really?
I
I did not know that was the same person.
For sure.
I know that song. I love that song, but I never.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Nelly Furtado.
But then it was another
Damn.
song that was popular for Nelly Furtado, but it was like, her little white girl joint. You know what I'm saying? Music. So it was like everybody was sitting there like, I'm like,
Well, that's also why I didn't I assumed she always made the type of music she made with Timbaland. That's why I never assumed
No,
that
she
was
had a
also
whole
her.
separate.
She had a whole
separate
album
vibe.
that was kind of like folky and
Yeah,
had like
Turn out the lights.
everything in this world is crazy.
Yeah, some shit like that.
This is
Yeah,
actually
like
just a
mad
vocal
mushroom.
lesson.
Yeah,
Mad mushroom.
actually, I really love that album. I loved that album growing up. I used to play that
Yeah.
shit all the time.
Nelly Furtado was popping. You know
I know
what I'm
them
saying?
jams.
Like,
Like Black Eyed Peas was popping.
Black Eyed Peas was fucking
Like
popping.
I was listening to that at the same time. Like
Oh my god, the Black Eyed Peas. Talk about a rise and fall, dog.
Bruh.
Oof.
Let's talk about when Fergie fucking peed on herself on stage.
Dog, I don't even remember that happening.
Definitely peed on herself, and she tried to make it seem like she was sweating. No, bitch, it was only right here.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
She hid behind a speaker.
Your coochie
She
is
hid
wet.
she hid behind a speaker.
What
It
year
was
was
still
this?
out, and it came back out, and it was beat.
She's like, I have to do it. I have
You
to
don't
do it.
walk away for 2 seconds. I was still on stage, and then come back out, and there's a whole puddle there. And just say you sweat that. No, it don't
Nah,
happen
that
like
ain't
that,
it,
no.
girl.
I'm weak.
But you know,
I don't know
everybody
about
out
that.
there, yeah, she fucking peed on herself. But Fergie was my bitch. First of all, Fergie's album, Fergalicious, fire.
Fergalicious
Hot fire.
definition, make them boys go loco.
That whole album, start to finish, Boys Don't Cry, or was it Girls Don't Cry?
Big girls don't cry.
Yeah, Big Girls Don't Cry. Whole album, classic. You know, I could sing that fucking, I could play that album from start to finish and sing that motherfucker from the top of my lungs.
Bro, y'all watched her in the fucking sing the national anthem for that basketball game?
Fergie?
Yeah.
Did she do that?
Oh, trash. She was trash.
Oh
I
my
think I
god,
saw that
she tried to make it like a smooth jazz like version of the national anthem. So she's over here like for the land of the free.
That's one song that almost every musician has butchered in some way, shape, or form.
Yo, you
the
can't.
words.
There's so much pressure, bro. If you fuck that up, you're memed forever.
Yeah, because honestly, the anthem, like, you only really know the first couple bars.
Don't nobody know that just casually. I can't just break it out to you right now.
Really?
The national anthem?
Hold on, how does it go?
Oh, see, can you see by the dawn's
Oh my word. Okay. Queen Latifah.
night,
There's some power
what's
in that
so proud?
You've done this before, I'm assuming?
I just know it. Everybody should know it.
Yeah, I mean, we sang that shit in graduation too all the fucking time, bro. In New York. It was
That's
that and R. Kelly. R. Kelly, though.
Okay.
And
let's
that's
drop
so
it.
we're not
We're
here
gonna talk about R. Kelly, right?
Actually, I was gonna say, of the newer peeps, I feel like nobody really gives me that rise, that feeling the way Megan Thee Stallion does. I would love to see Megan and Timbaland drop a song together. I think
that would be
fire.
absolutely
that
fire.
shit would be some crazy
That'd be
twerk
hot fire.
shit. I will shake my ass all day to that.
Yo, that would be hot fire. I'm upset that hasn't happened yet.
You know who I think is becoming trash? Chris Brown.
Yeah, he fell off to me.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
fell
he been
off.
off of
To
me
me,
a
his
long
music is
time
now
ago.
reminding me of Tyga.
Yo,
You know
was
what,
Tiger for a minute.
I feel like with Tyga be dropping out song after song after song, and none of them have substance. None of them gain traction. All of them are trash. You hear it for a second.
I don't
it's
even
like
know if
garbage.
was there ever a song that Tiger had that was popping?
He got a couple. He
When
got
it
like
first kind of started,
There was like one or two, but I feel like they were features, weren't
he had a
they?
few of them.
No, he got one that's like taste, and you let it taste, like Mary Kate. You know that song?
I think I know what you're talking
yeah.
about, but it was still
It's called
trash.
Taste.
You can get a taste.
It's
You
people
can get
know
a
it.
taste.
It's a hit.
But yeah, with
But
Chris
Megan the
Brown,
motherfucking stallion though, she.
Oh, she's amazing.
you got knees like Megan. You got knees like Megan?
She's a fucking mogul. No, I'm 30. She's a fucking mogul. Like, she's about to be a lit ass bitch for the rest of her life.
I fuck with her that she continued her education. You know,
We do
while
love
she
that.
was dropping these hits. You know what I'm saying? I respect that a lot. You know,
I
and
do
she valued at least her education as well and continue music. Because a lot of times, as soon as a nigga get a fucking deal or take off, they run with it. You know, at least she's trying to expand her mind. And what was it? Psychology?
Yeah, she was in psychology.
Psychology?
Yeah,
Fire.
she did that for her grandmother as well. Like, she made promises to her parents that she was gonna finish school.
High fire.
So just the simple fact that like she was having, you know, there's an honor code with her. Like, I think that everybody loves her because she's so honorable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's true to herself, whether she's ratchet.
She out here saying nasty shit and still keeping it real.
Big nasty shit.
And
And
still a
honestly,
role model.
the nastiest shit. And still being out here like the men do it all the time. Why can't we?
That's a fact. And like, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's a dumb hoe. Like, it doesn't mean that she's like
You don't
you're
just
only
because
useful for one thing.
just because you shake ass doesn't mean that's all you got.
Exactly. She's definitely like living proof of that.
Because I shake ass and I don't got ass. So, prime example, you ain't gotta have it to be it.
You just gotta be it in your heart.
Okay, thank you for that.
Talon knows what it is.
We haven't snapped in a while for our podcast.
We gotta get that back. We gotta get that back. Give Latifah some love.
Latifah.
For sure.
So the queen died. Latifah!
Yo, every single video I've seen of like people filming their like parents or grandparents, they're like, Latifah? Beyonce? Nobody assumes.
No.
Elizabeth.
I mean, Janet even tweeted, she was like, she said something like R.I.P. to the Queen or whatever, and people was like responding to her, and they was like, what you mean, girl, you still alive?
You still alive, girl?
I was like, don't
You
say
ain't like,
that.
this ain't our queen.
Right.
This ain't our queen. We ain't more than nobody.
Not my queen.
Not my queen.
Nobody gave a fuck.
That's funny as hell.
Lord.
So, anything else?
I mean, I think we've definitely said what we need to
It's a
say.
pretty good thing, you know.
I think so.
Music topic, you know, hey, you know, we outside. This is a new day compared to last episode. New day.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's the same day, y'all. Like, don't
listen to what they say.
you look beautiful, son. That's a lovely color on you.
Thank you.
It matches the tapestry and everything.
Thank you.
We wash, y'all. Don't listen to her.
It says.
In the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I got this from H&M.
I'll have to check that out. Anyway, thank y'all so much. Join us again next time.
For sure.
Subscribe, comment, share, like.
Yes, please.
Please push us to your
subscribe.
friends.
Big facts.
We want to be able to keep doing this for
We
you.
outside. Big facts.
Big
We'll see y'all
facts.
next time.
And
The
the
box.
box.
Alright.
Ayy, in the box.
In the
Ayy,
box.
ayy, in the box. Ayy, in the box. Ayy, in the box. Ayy, we outside.
We outside. We outside.